On my way back home, I encountered two small beings, two small strange men, which I didn't think were men from outer space. And they took me somewhere where there were other people besides myself. Other human people, like from Puerto Rico, I guess. From here, another human being showed up. He claimed to be from a distant planet. He was dressed in black. He had dark skin. He had long black hair up to the shoulders, and he spoke to us with the mouth verbally, and no telepathic speaking. He showed us various projections, which looked very real projections. And he informed us about a whole bunch of things that are even still incredible to me. Holographs were mainly, the first one that I can remember was like a short trip through space. We saw where he came from, where he said to be from. We saw his people, we saw the houses that they use. And the second one was about a meteor or rock falling to Earth in the near future, which is going to cause a lot of havoc in the world. This would fall, it's going to fall in very near the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, and those other small islands, but it's going to affect the whole world, not just Puerto Rico. The last one is that they projected was showing us how there was only going to be one government on the planet Earth. They'll be living on some sort of artificial island that's going to be floating in the middle of a dark, black, dirty sea. And then this man returned me to my car again and left me somewhere different from where the whole ordeal had started. Apparently, they took me with car and all. After this, at this given time, I heard some jets in the sky, and I still had my cousin's camera, and I took the pictures, 4 of which I'm making public.
Yeah, welcome back with another banger. Yeah. Hit that like, sub it up, don't react, bounce. Hit that like, sub it up, don't react, bounce. Y'all feel me? Let's run it.
This guy just created a new Mandela effect, or he tapped into an alternate universe. Either way, the story is going to blow your mind. So this is Chris, and back in 2014, he made this commercial and entered it into $1 million Doritos Super Bowl commercial contest. And as he describes it, he was pretty sure that he was going to win. He felt like he had the winning commercial, but he didn't. And almost no one saw this commercial. He also uploaded it to YouTube. It barely got any views. And this video has pretty much spent the past 10 years in obscurity. Or has it? Because the next year, this Doritos commercial airs when pigs fly. Basically the same premise. That's not the weird part. Chris, who shares a lot of mystical and spirituality and philosophy content on TikTok and Instagram, made a video last week sharing this commercial and sharing his story about how he was so sure that it was going to win. And he just wanted to share it with his audience. And that's when all hell broke loose. He got thousands of comments, people saying that they saw this commercial during the Super Bowl. And not just a few, but thousands of people. There are people who say they discussed this commercial with friends and family members. There are people who say they were sick of this commercial because it played on repeat over and over. I myself remember this commercial. I used to study ads, and I remember this one so well because I watched the Super Bowl for the ads, and I remember seeing this commercial and rolling my eyes. Okay, sorry, Chris. I rolled my eyes when I saw this commercial, but I did see it during the Super Bowl. So I actually know Chris in real life. He's one of the most genuine, authentic, and honest people. He's a super nice guy, and this whole thing is blowing his mind. He's made several videos on this topic, and each video blows up and then has people in the comments claiming they've seen this commercial, and some of them even had it recorded on their DVRs. Remember the DVRs? So even weirder, he's continuing to dig. He's now intrigued. All of us are. And look what someone sent him. Someone asked ChatGPT about this commercial, and this was the response. According to ChatGPT, this is a very popular Super Bowl commercial that stands the test of time. So what the hell is going on? Could it be A, that Chris is a master manifester who created a timeline where he won the $1 million contest, and his commercial aired on the Super Bowl and continued to air for years, and then for whatever reason he was knocked out of this timeline and into our timeline? Or is it a new Mandela effect? Or what do you think? So my mind is blown. I'd love to hear your opinion.
My mind is blown because I remember that commercial. Are we all on the same timelines here? If you remember this commercial, let us know in the comments down below. Shout outs to She the Mystic.
I was lowered down the basket of one of these holes, and I saw a 7-foot-tall alien gray. The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. I reached for my pistol, and I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal, and they do die. In the process, one of them just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish. Burnt my fingers right off of me, and there was a green beret that was right behind me. He shoved me back in the basket and hit the button and took me up. He died, and I wouldn't be alive talking to you today. I'm forever indebted. 66 Secret Service agents, Green Berets, Black Berets, lost their lives because the government lied, did not tell us anything about the alien threat.
This place doesn't add up. This is the Colossal Temple in India. Now pay attention to this one, guys, because the Matrix tells us this entire place was carved from one slab of stone, that it was hand chiseled from the top down. Who honestly believes that? What you're seeing here is laser technology. In order to make this place, 400,000 tons of rock had to be excavated and removed, and yet none of this rock has ever been found or discovered. This is all from one stone. We're talking multi-level halls, perfectly carved pillars, symmetrical structures, even bridges. All these rooms and intricate details built from the top down. By hand. There wasn't room for a single mistake. One wrong strike and the entire structure is ruined. Now, according to fake history, we're told this place was built in only 18 years. Cultural legends say 7 days, but let's just assume 18 years. If 400,000 tons were removed, that is between 400 million and 800 million pounds of stone that just had to somehow vanish. Now let's assume 7,000 workers worked like robots, non-stop, 12 hours a day, for 18 years. Break that down and you're looking at them removing 60 tons per day. That's 5 tons per hour, by hand. And that's just the excavation. What about the time taken for designing, mapping the top down, the intricate carvings, engineering load distribution? Crazy part is people would just say, oh, they had a lot of time in those days. Look, time doesn't create mastery. Time doesn't explain precision. And a lot of workers does not equal quality. Quantity never means quality. For them to accomplish this perfect degree of engineering, every individual there would have had to have been some superhuman master stonemason. This is also just one network of an entire system known as the Ellora Caves. Just 1 in 34. There's no way we did this with hammer and chisel. That's fake history. That's even impossible now. To chisel basalt rock, you need tools significantly stronger than rock itself. And there's only 2 modern examples. Tungsten carbide chisels, which weren't really invented until the mid-1800s, and diamond cut tools, which were rarely used or distributed then. And this is all from laser technology. Lasers. That or some form of highly advanced technology that's either been lost or being hidden from us. Now you might have thought history was boring, but that's only because you've been given a fake history designed to hide an incredible past.
An incredible past, I agree. That's just one of 34 of the caves in that system. Shout outs to Electric Being. I could definitely see some type of laser carving all of that out for real. It's just too intricate.
A video found in the recent Epstein files dump shows Jeffrey sitting in front of a webcam. And in a doorway in the background, we see some sort of humanoid entity. It has a large bulbous head, and it's standing in the doorway of a room. It's not a static figure, because as you can see, it moves toward the end of the video. It has a humanoid body, but a large bulbous head. The video is grainy, so it's hard to make out any other features, but some people claim to see large eyes as well. Could this entity be something similar to Lamb, who was summoned from a different sexual deviant in 1918? One Aleister Crowley.
Remember the Katy Perry music video when she was getting cut up? It was, yeah, you don't know this one? What? Bon Appetit by Migos.
She was like being eaten.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a video of Jeffrey Epstein's townhouse. There was a scene of her getting carried. The floor looked like this. Look at this. Oh. No. The exact same floor, fam. And in the video, what did Katy Perry do? She got eaten by people. So they're playing in our face because that's what happened in these houses.
If you're connected to Epstein, what is it? Like you get more money? Like what's...
Bro, you're making a
part of
deal with the
power.
devil. Let's say you're an aspiring celebrity.
Yeah.
You want to be in these movies? I know every single director.
Yeah.
But what you have to do for me, you have to go have with that. You know, I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna record it.
So they have something against...
I have something on you because I can control you now. So I make you a star. Now you're important. And guess what? You're my pawn. These people are like using celebrities as chess pieces. And that's the problem I have with all these subliminals we see in media, because it's like they're giving a little bit to us because it's already done.
Yeah.
Like we're joking about it because we did that to y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know what's worse, the shit that they revealed about the Epstein files or the rabbit hole that I went down about live dolls. And let me start by saying this is another reason why I always say the dark web is not the place to be. So basically, people are getting auctioned on the dark web, and they're getting auctioned to be a live doll. You heard what I just said? A live doll. So people on the dark web will bid on you. And when they win the bid, you basically sign yourself away to be their live doll. So how they do this is they will surgically remove all of your bones, all of your limbs. They will have your tongue cut out. They will remove your eyes. They will then set your body up to a feeding tube so that you can get food and nourishments so you can spend the rest of your life as a live doll. You heard what I just said? And the craziest part of that is this. If you wanted to die, if you wanted to get out of that contract, if you wanted to get your own life back, that is not possible. You can't even take your own life. You would have to be a live doll for the rest of your existence until you expire. Jump down a rabbit hole. Hit that search bar up there, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. There are people that are signing up for this on the dark web. I'm out.
Yo, that's wild. Yeah, I definitely got to see if this is real. Now, this is the craziest dark web rabbit hole theory I've ever heard. Shout out to Expensive Talk. That's wild.
Is Mexico the next in line to be taken over by America? Let's get into it. First, let's start with El Mencho, the leader of the CJNG, one of the most infamous cartels in Mexico. Now, he was just taken out by the Mexican military with the assistance of America, confirmed by the press secretary. She says the United States provided intelligence to support the Mexican government in order to assist with the operation in Tapapa, Jalisco, Mexico, in which El Mencho was eliminated. And this led to all hell breaking loose, including airports getting shut down and leaving some Americans stuck on some resorts. There's even reports of them putting 2:30 p.m. curfews in many cities. And just to give you a glimpse of how powerful the artillery is, that's not the Mexican government, that's the cartel themselves. Now, one question I have, how do these cartel groups get this type of weapons? Well, here's a report that says how Israel firearms fell into the hands of the Mexican cartel. Interesting. Now get this, from 2008 to 2018, 238,000 firearms were exported to Mexico from Europe, including 24,000 guns and rifles from Israel, in which wound up in the hands of the cartel. Which brings us to Mexico's first female president, Claudia Sheinbaum, who was elected during the bloodiest election year Mexico has ever seen, with 37 candidates assassinated. But she happens to make it out. And is it a coincidence that her parents are from the same place where all those guns came from? Then she actually threatens to sue Elon Musk after he says she's a puppet for the drug cartel. And two things can be true, because what if she was placed there to induce a civil war, only to kick off the Monroe Doctrine? Now, what is that, you ask? It was issued by President James Monroe in 1823 to take over the entire Western Hemisphere, including Canada, Greenland, and all of South America. And it looks like we're on track because we have Greenland in our sights, Venezuela has been checked off, and now Mexico. Now, another crazy fact that the CJNG not only was big in drug trafficking, but timeshare fraud. The US actually sanctioned a timeshare fraud network led by the CJNG, which they now call a terrorist group. And let's not forget, one of the first executive orders that Trump signed when he got in office was 14157, designating cartels as terrorist groups. So maybe it was all in the plans. Make sure you guys hit up my YouTube, The Maverick Approach, because I'm doing a bigger breakdown on this, and let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
I think Mav is definitely onto something. Shout out to Maverick Approach. Yo, what's going on?
Was he already dead? It's been years, probably a decade, since his last photo. We've been hearing his voice popping up here and there, but with an AI, it's super easy to replicate a voice. We don't even know if that's him. It's super easy to start a whole fucking cartel that is a psyop. It's like the Jalisco New Interracial Cartel really exists, or is that a psyop? You see the soldiers, you never see the higher-ups, you never see who's leading, you never see people like El Chapo, that he was arrested a couple of times and he was like escaping prisons. El Mayo Zambada giving out an interview. Los Chapitos, they even had their own socials at some point. The leaders of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, those guys are dressed up properly as a army. They know of strategy, they know of trends, they know of weapons, they know how to weaponize a drone, IEDs, and they have this mythical leadership called El Mencho.
CJNG cartel got the governor of Texas scared as fuck right now. In fact, this man is so nervous, he about to deploy the DPS troopers, special agents, and Texas Rangers along the Texas border. He feel like what's going on is getting too close to home. And he said, it's no telling, they might try to push towards the border. Now, we know how the cartel is. We know they get down and shit. But I don't think they crazy enough to come across the border, right? Well, this man seems to think so. So this man is making them watch the border for 24 hours non-stop. And then, y'all, I was hearing some of the people that's in the cartel came from California and some came from Texas. And after El Mencho passed away, I heard some of the people that was in Texas and California flocked back to Mexico. But I'm gonna keep y'all updated on this situation, cause shit about to get crazy.
I agree. It's definitely about to get crazy. Shout outs to Texas. I could definitely understand where he's coming from, though. It is pretty close to home, especially the magnitude of how things got shut down. Definitely something about this situation that don't feel right.
The Civil War never ended. We are in a Civil War loop. There have been cyclical resets, each one leaving behind a remnant. And there were greater populations of people than now if you look at mythology. There has been constant civil war on this landmass. Each reset brought about displacement and exile. Much of the last Civil War was fought with foreigners. The Aboriginals sided with the South. Indian wars like the Seminole War were part of the overall Civil War. The last Civil War wasn't about so-called slavery. There were so-called free blacks in the South. And many of the Union states were still slave states. White is a status, not a race. You can be any color and have the status of white. White is even a status in the Bible, not a color. Except here. The census is flawed. The head of the house determined the status of everybody else that lived in the house. Enslaved people were prisoners of war. Look at King Philip's War. This is the formula. So-called slaves weren't even named until 1870. This is part of the paper genocide. It wiped out the true Aboriginal identity. It lumped people into categories that don't describe them. Look at the Racial Integrity Act. The records are literally edited. Natives were called Negro, then Black, then African American. Misnomer. Negro doesn't even really mean black. It means river of rivers. Maybe it means this. It wasn't just Virginia. Look, up and down the East Coast. South Carolina, Jersey, erasure. Look, see? Look. Semantic genocide. Black means blank or void. The media pushed the fake Indian appearance. And the status was for sale, $5 pretendians. The Siberians came later. These are not the Aboriginals. These are Canaanites. 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 These Hittite Canaanites and all the other invaders worked together to steal the Aboriginals' identity, and thus the land, the birthright. See? The same things were done in the trans-Saharan slave trade. The original Asians and Indians got ran into Africa. Their fathers were killed, and then the mothers and the children were sold into slavery. Look, these are the original Asians and Middle Easterners. The awakening of the people of the world stems from the American Aboriginals' awakening. As the Aboriginals wake up, there will be more segregation like prison. All the chimeric Mexicans won't let the false identity and false history go. Many of them are Filipino. Look, mixed with the Sephardim, as well as Edom. You see the hairy arms? That's Esau. Some are mixed with Aboriginal though. They flooded the history, especially California, which is the real promised land. See? Look. 50 million people will divorce from the country in the near future. And everybody that loves them and some that don't love them will side with them. And we'll be right back in the 1860s. Parasites can't completely kill their host, they depend on them. But the host is constantly reduced to a remnant so they can regenerate and be reinfected. perpetuating the parasite loop. If the Aboriginals were unified, they would have never gotten overrun. Unification is the nature of melanin. Going against your nature attracts parasites. Colonization was an automatic response, an autocorrect from the grid. Autonomous zones will pop up, and they will be mostly racially divided. So communication is likely to break down. So people will need knowledge of self and know-how to endure. Or we stay in a closed loop, infinitely looping.
Knowledge is self. Sound like the Wu-Tang Clan. Shout out to Taylor Durden with this historical breakdown. That's wild. According to this map, the Gulf is the Egyptian Sea. Looks like the East Coast is Babylon, Texas is Egypt, the Pacific Ocean is the Great Sea, the Old Testament map of ancient America. Very interesting.
They leaked Michael Jackson's last phone call. In 2009, he called his dietitian. He said he's getting threats from people higher than the government. What's wrong, Michael?
If I should tell you this, but I don't know
Who may be listening.
There may be a group of people that want to get rid of me. They don't want me here anymore.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
I don't know. It's gonna happen, but I just feel in my soul. Only God knows. They could frame me and say I overdosed you with drugs. It's not the government. I just want my children to be okay.
The whole theory of Michael Jackson being this predator and being this villain, all of this was happening while the island stuff was happening.
Yeah.
What's crazy though, he's never been proven to have done any of that shit.
Never. But where is he today? Oh, he just randomly died? Come on, gang.
He was in an interview, I think it was Oprah that really asked him, Michael, like, why are you so around kids and stuff? Like,
they set him up, fam. I'm telling you.
You know what Michael Jackson said? He said, because in the Bible, Jesus told us to be as innocent as a child. Because if you're like children, you can inherit heaven. That's actually in the Bible. Okay. It's obviously twisted in some way so that they can put all the blame on him. Macaulay Culkin was really close to Michael Jackson. He even said nothing happened.
Yep.
All these other people that said things against Michael Jackson as they grew older, my parents told me to say all these things so that we can get money.
Fam, you know what I'm thinking too? I always feel like somebody's watching me. Fam, you don't ever think that might be just like a cry for help? Because yo, they wanted him out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed the deep dive. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider to give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Shout outs to all the reactors. Thanks again. Till next time.